to the NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championships, the pinnacle of collegiate men's gymnastics competition. Congratulations to all the athletes who have made it here, and thank you to everyone who helped organize this astounding event. For those of you who don't know me, my name is McReynolds, and I'm a senior at William & Mary. Being a senior, many people have recently asked me, how do you want to finish this sport? Or what do you want your legacy to be? At first, I answered with tangible goals such as win our conference championships, compete at the NCAAs, hit my very last competitive routine. However, there seemed to be something missing. Certainly my last season will not be the defining point of my career. That was when I realized, it's not about how I end my career, it's what I take from it. And so I started to explore what lessons I have learned from gymnastics. For me, gymnastics has been an unforgettable adventure, filled with memories of fear and failure, but also of friendship and triumph. Today, I want to talk about the most important lessons I have learned from my life in gymnastics. Number one, understanding each other's differences can help us improve. In gymnastics, we are constantly scaling this unending mountain, perfecting skill after skill, but everyone takes their own path to reach the top. Even when trying to conquer a common skill, like a stalder, there are many different ways to approach it. In fact, when I was first learning a stalder, I asked my teammates how they did it. When each of them responded, I was surprised to learn that they all had different approaches to the same skill. Yet, each of their alternate paths achieved the same desired result. So I tried these new paths until I finally found the one that got me to the peak, and I was able to conquer that skill. In this way, gymnastics exemplifies differences. By understanding and combining their different approaches, I was able to create my own path and achieve my goal. Number two, failures can teach you even more than successes. I consistently tell people that gymnastics is a sport of failure. Each and every day we fall, and as a gymnast, each time we fall, we must ask ourselves, why did I fall, and how can I fix this? No matter how many times we are thrashed, we must take our struggles, analyze them, and use them to propel us toward our goals. In competition, even as the winds of fear and doubt swirl around us, our resilience allows us to stand firm and step into the eye of the storm. Everyone else only sees us calmly turn and raise our arm. Then the day comes when you finally hit your routine and see the green flag raise. It was from our failures that we learned to improve, and it was our resilience to endure these failures that allowed us to achieve the perfection we so desire. Number three, it takes a lot to drag you down, but it only takes one moment to make it better. When you finally hit the perfect routine, all the instances of failure and bitterness suddenly melt away. Each grueling practice and every failed turn finally seem worth it. This one moment of triumph sets aflame a new motivation to combat another day. This lesson became especially apparent upon my return to the sport. You see, my history of gymnastics has been fraught with hardships. From a very young age, my teammates made me feel like an outcast, and a combination of bullying and exclusion wore me down, and I was burnt out. Come high school, I had had enough. I quit. But after 6 months of trying many other sports, I realized that there was something different about gymnastics. It was the only sport able to excite me. So I reluctantly returned, even though I had no motivation to do so. My motivation remained in until I met my mentor, Ronnie Camacho Sr. This one person sparked a flame in me that still has not diminished. Slowly, the fire he helped me build burned brighter, and it illuminated my joy for the sport. Number four, do things for yourself, not for the people who want you to do them. To be clear, returning to gymnastics was not entirely my own decision. See, my mom had a requirement that I do a sport so that I could get into college. And after I gave up many other sports, she brought me back to the gym. So even after my motivation returned, I knew that there was always a part of me only doing this sport for my mother. Nonetheless, her support and attentiveness got me through high school and into college. When I arrived, however, there was a paradigmatic shift. I had the freedom to choose what I wanted to do with gymnastics. At first, all I could think about was quitting. But then I noticed that something was different. For the first time, I had teammates who supported me. They made it clear that every contribution holds value, no matter how small, and that no matter what, they would be there for me. This realization turned the fire inside my heart into a sun. Gymnastics became my freedom, and the gym became my home. I was finally doing the sport for me. That shift provided more joy than describable, and that is when I found my fifth and final lesson. Finally, number 5. Gymnastics reinforces the idea that with hard work, things will get better. No matter the skill, no matter the situation, no matter how small you feel, gymnastics teaches you that with persistence, things will get better. My sophomore year of high school, a therapist forced me to undergo conversion therapy to, quote, fix me. He convinced my parents he was working on my relationships, but instead, he tried to alter my identity. I became so uncomfortable with myself that I couldn't even look in the mirror. Leaving my bed became a challenge, and the cuts on my arm only grew. My coaches and the sport made me look at myself again. They told me I was powerful. They told me I could achieve something. I wanted to continue improving in the sport, and I worked hard until I finally got into college. Then, when I arrived, it was so clear that those around me accepted me. They reinforced that who I am is okay, and I was finally freed from the constriction of my depression. The newfound joy that gymnastics brought me not only symbolizes where I've come from, but also serves as a reminder that no matter the problem, no matter the situation, things will get better. So, my fellow athletes, I challenge you to change the question in your head. Think not only of what it is you will leave behind, but find what you have learned and what you want to take with you. Peer beyond the guise of superficiality and think back to the mountains you have climbed, to the storms you have flown through, to the first spark that kindled a flame that still burns bright within you. We must remember that gymnastics is not merely a sport. It is a mechanism to better yourself and aid you in your endeavors. It is designed to show you the importance of failure and the value of differences, and remind you that your situation will get better. As we move into our ensuing competition, I implore you to find the lessons you have learned and take them with you on the rest of this adventure and to the adventures to come. Thank you.